Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Mark David. I'm the CEO and founder of Music Venue Trust. I'm going to try and stare down the camera meaningfully, but it's not always easy to remember when you've got a picture of yourself in front of you. So thank you for joining us this afternoon. Please do feel free to drop a comment under the video. We can see all comments as they come in, so if you have any questions or anything you want to raise for us, maybe you just want to say hello. Please do say hello, let us know you're there. Another thing you can do to really help us with this, with the spread of this messaging, is you can hit, if you're on Facebook, you could hit for a watch party and share it on your own wall so that other people can see it. And we also have it available on YouTube and on Twitch TV. So if you want to join in any of those, the Music Venue Trust channel is Music Venue Trust wherever you go. But yeah, if you want to hit watch party, then that will help us to get this message out to as many people as possible. We will be sharing this video afterwards. It will be in all of our channels, and the theme of this video is all about our save the 30 hashtag save the 30 hashtag save our venues campaign. This video is to help you use the tools that we put out there. And just give you a run through of how you can use those to really effectively help protect, secure, support these 30 venues that are under imminent threat of closure. It may feel like it's just, well, how do I donate some money if I haven't got any money? But actually, just as important as that is the work that you can do to amplify the problems that these venues are in to the right people. So to help you to do that, we've created a map of all of the locations that are basically, we can show you how to use that to get the information you need to be able to write to people, the councillors, the MPs, chief executives of councils, try and get more support for these venues. And then we've also got ways that you can do that. So I've got a couple of staff members coming in to tell you exactly how we've been doing that. We've also got links to the crowdfunders, the individual crowdfunders on there, which we would hope you can share from our map. And then we've obviously got the crowdfunder central page that we really want you to be sharing. But today's thing is all about how can you be active in trying to prevent the closure of these 30 venues that we think are most at risk of closing down. How can you be, most involved in that? What can you do? Of course, you can make a donation. That would be fantastic. We really appreciate anything you can afford to do. There are things you can buy, and we'll talk about those in a minute. But the number one thing that we need you to do is to be really active and vocal about supporting these venues, using your social media pages to amplify their messages, getting in contact with people that can do something with these venues. It's quite a lot of money we need to raise. I mean, God bless you all. Honestly, you've already raised over £100,000 in the first 24 hours towards a target of 1.75 million. So this is doable just by you, but there's so much more that you can do just by writing a letter, just by sending an email, and we've got all those tools lined up. So first person I'm going to introduce you to is one of our team called Sarah. Good afternoon, Sarah.
Hello. Hi.
Sarah's brilliantly given herself the title of MVT's Map Queen, alongside lots of other things that you do for us, Sarah. you are indeed our Map Queen. I quite agree with that. So just to explain, the map contains a bunch of information, the kind of information that's on there, Sarah.
Yeah, so the map, once you click on the icons of where the venues are located, which hopefully should be super obvious when you've got it open, when you click on that, you've got direct links to the crowdfunder for each individual venue, and then you've also got lots of different political contacts that are associated with that venue. So you have the name and the email address of the MP that's for that venue. You have all of the councillors that are for the ward of the council that venue is located in, and then you also have the chief executive of the council for that venue. So there's lots of email addresses that you can get directly in contact just by looking at that map. We really wanted to make it like a one-stop shop that you can go to and find all of the information that you'd need to help that venue just by looking at that one map.
Okay, and then alongside that, we've obviously got the crowdfunder link. But then we also have all the social handles for the venues on there as well. So you can easily follow them or amplify what they're tweeting. And Yeah, so it's like
Yep.
basically everything's on there. So, well, rather than just talk about it, let's bring up the link for it. The link is pretty easy to find. It's cut.ly/MVT redmap, and then we're gonna run you through where it is. To get it as large as possible on the screen, I'm actually just gonna pull us both out and just show that, Sarah. So if I go to sort of manipulate the map, do you want to? The first thing.
Sure. So before we start, if anyone has decided to pull up the map on their phone so that they can look at it on their phone while they're also looking at the screen or whatever, it does look slightly different on mobile. So as we go through, I'm just going to point out where on your screen you should be looking if you're on a desktop, and then it's slightly different on mobile. I should point out the phone I'm using is Android. I don't know if it looks slightly different on iPhone. I don't imagine it will, but just in case anything I'm saying kind of doesn't make sense, it might be if you're an iPhone user. Not all of us are, sorry. So yeah, as you can see, the map hopefully is a little bit small. Down the left hand side, you've got a list of all of the venues that are on the red list. And then Mark, if you just want to pick any random venue, all of the red Save Our Venues icons are the venues. So if Mark just wants to click on one.
Shall I zoom in to just demonstrate? There's a plus and minus sign down here. I'm going to zoom into the middle of the map here because there's so many venues to choose from. And let's choose the Arden Inn and Accrington because that's our first venue. So you can go right in there and you can use that to pick that red dot in the middle there is the Arden Inn and Accrington. You can also select it from the left-hand side. So if you select, I'll drop the menu down, you can pull down that menu button and you can just pick the Arden Inn. And then you can zoom into where it is and see exactly where it is on the map.
Yep. So if you're using a phone, once you've located the venue that you want to click on, once you touch the red Save Our Venues icon that corresponds to a venue, then you should actually get the name of the venue on the bottom of your screen. So it should say in bold text. So I've just selected Hootenanny Music Bar up in Inverness. So if you click on that with your phone, it should come up at the bottom. If you click on it on desktop, you'll see that you get this window down the left-hand side and it's got all of that information that we listed before. On your phone, you should just basically tap on where the name of the venue has appeared and then a screen pushes up from the bottom and you can scroll down through that and it has exactly the same information that the desktop version does. Hopefully it's the same with iPhone. That's not actually something I've checked. If anyone is looking at this on an iPhone and it does come up from the bottom upwards, if you could just drop that into the chat to confirm, that'd be really helpful. But yeah, as you can see, hopefully with what we're asking people to do and to get involved in, everything that you should possibly need will be on this map. So as you can see, going from the top, you've got the name of the venue, the address of the venue, which sort of might be relevant in some way. The crowdfunder, if you click on that link, it will take you directly to the crowdfunder page. It will tell you what the target of the crowdfunder is. It will have all of the information from the venue that they've written their statement about why they need to fundraise. Then as you scroll down that list, which you might have to do on a phone, I don't think you need to do any scrolling on desktop. You've got the name of your MP, the email address to contact that MP. Then going down, you've also got the councillors, all of the councillors' emails, and then the councillor chief executive's email. And then we've got all of the handles that you would need as well for tagging or mentioning any of those venues in any form of social post. So as we said, we just wanted to make it really easy for anyone that wants to get involved. And as well as going through this map yourself and getting involved in any of the sort of processes and things that we're asking you to do, which I know Clara is going to go into more information about, you can share this map yourselves. Mark can post a link to the map in the chat just in case anyone hasn't received it yet. And if you're someone that runs any kind of website, a blog, if you're a journalist, if you'd like to embed the map into your website rather than having it in an external hyperlink that will take you out of your website. So if you'd rather people stayed on your website, there is a functionality where I can email you the code and you can actually embed it into your website. So if you wanted to do that, just sort of drop a comment and we can get your email address and send you some instructions on how to do that as well. And I think that's pretty much everything that I've got to say about it, unless anyone's got any questions.
Okay, I'm going to bring in, I'm just going to slip the flip the thing, and I'm going to bring in Clara so you can see where all the information is. The link to the map is on the bottom of the screen there, and I will put that underneath the underneath all these listings and everything. If anybody wants to pick that up and to post it into the group that they're watching in, then please do that. It's https. I'm not going to read all that out. cut.me/MVT redmap. Now we're also joined brilliantly by Clara Cullen. Hello. Clara.
Hi guys.
Now Clara, we're going to basically I'm going to clear that map because we've shown exactly how that works now. And then if you want to just briefly introduce the concept of writing, perhaps, I'll go and get our typical letter.
Sure. So what we've been doing over the past couple of days is creating letters from MVT to MPs, to your local councillors, and to the council chief executives of all of the venues on our red list. And why we're doing that is it's really important to show engagement in that way. And usually if you're the constituency of the MP, they're obliged to respond to you. So it's a really good way to get engaged with your local MP, with your local government representative, and it's a good way to sort of increase the sort of engagement of your campaign, really kind of showcase to them why you're fundraising, why it's really important, why they should care as local representatives, and really get that sort of dialogue rolling. And it's a really good way to just kind of boost your engagement with them. And so we'll show you what we've been writing.
Yeah, and I think it's very important to say that the more personalised it is, the reason why we don't issue standard format letters for people just to send in, we're going to show you one of ours, but we're not going to give that to you. We're going to tell you some stuff about it, but it is unbelievably important for you to say what you think about the venue, or you think about your community, where you live, how important this is to you. Or I see somebody's commented, Mark Stacker's commented that he visits a lot of these places. Saying to an MP or a councillor, this is why I come to your town. You know, that's a really important message. But we found that these generic format letters aren't very effective. That councillors are just as aware of anybody else when they're receiving what is effectively spam. So we do recommend always using, you know, pick up on what we're saying and the kind of attitude we're giving you, but it is very important you use your own words. So I'm going to pop that up on screen. I hope that's just come up now. Is that streaming? Yes, it is.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Just to reiterate what Mark says, this is our version. Your version doesn't need to be nearly as formal. If anything, your own voice and your own tone is really important because it's your letter and you're engaging with your local representative. So on our letter, we just open with obviously who we are as Music Venue Trust and what we do. If you're writing from a venue, you can kind of write about your venue, where you are, how long you've been a venue, the normal amount of shows you put on, something like that, something that gives a bit of a flavour of who you are. If you're a fan of a local venue, you can do the same. And then as we continue down, we just write a little bit about how the venues on the red list are at imminent threat of closure. So really you want to kind of strike that tone of urgency, get sort of clear about how kind of crucial it is to save these venues. And then we write a little bit about the Save Our Venues campaign and how we've added the venue to the red list. Again, that kind of adds a sense of urgency. It shows what Music Venue Trust is doing nationally. And the reason we do that is because we want to balance the national with the local. And so basically we need a local response as well as our kind of national response, which is why we need you to engage with your local representatives, create that local story, that local narrative of why this venue is important to you and your local community. Below, we put a little bit about just government guidance. At the moment, there's guidance for discretionary grants. And so we're just highlighting that to really underscore why it's important that local councils kind of deliver discretionary grants to venues, why that would help basically eliminate some of the threat of closure. So that's just a little bit of a nudge to local councils on kind of actioning what we think they should do. And then we kind of end with an action point, which is always, you know, we're urging for we're requesting a meeting with local councillors. You can request a meeting with your MP. You can ask maybe your local council to match fund some of these crowdfunders. Just put a little bit of an action point at the bottom, which gives the council or your MP a concrete action to follow.
And I just want to pick up on this very important point here, Clara, which is that although we are obviously a formal organisation taking a formal point, it is worth noting in this part of our letter that there is guidance from the national government and money that has been released to local authorities that they do have within their power. And I think it's worth just looking at that part of the guidance. It says this could include, for example, businesses which supply the retail, hospitality and leisure sectors, or businesses in the events sector. So I think there is plenty of scope here for local councils to take action. This is why you writing in, this is why we're holding this whole webinar. You know, if you can make a donation, if you can do anything to support any of your venues with money that you've got, or you want to buy any of the merch items, that's amazing. You know, we really appreciate that. But if you can't do that, we know that some people have been really badly financially hit by this crisis, but you do have time to write a letter. You do have time to email somebody from our map, and you do have time to say to them, I need you to take action. You can even say, look, I don't have any money. I don't have the ability to do this, but you do. And you can mention the fact that these discretionary grants have been released. You know that there's money in the system. Please, can they make sure it gets to your venue? So I think that's a really important point for people to note.
I think also to mention, it doesn't need to be as long as a letter. It can just be a paragraph explaining to your MP council why this venue is important to you and asking what support they can offer. As simple as that. Yeah.
I mean, just something as informal as that, as like, I'm a local constituent, or I'm somebody who comes to this venue in your area. This is really important to me. What are you going to do about it? If enough of these letters are sent to each of these councillors, something will be done. I promise you that. We've done lots and lots of work about how local democracy and how, frankly, how national democracy works. You would be amazed at the people who are prepared to send 20 letters a day complaining about stuff. If you write to your councillor, or you write to a councillor, or you write to an MP saying, this is the positive action I want, this is a thing you can do that's positive, that we believe in, there's enough of those letters, they will definitely do something. I know that we all have a pretty bleak view of politics these days. I know that we all think that things don't happen. And I know that a lot of you will have written letters before that you didn't get a response to. But strength in numbers is the big thing here. There are nearly 40,000 activists in the MBT activist group. If we could get even half of you to send a letter to a local councillor and to send a letter to an MP, just half of you doing that would be the most amount of correspondence that has ever been sent to councillors about any issue ever. Way more than they receive in noise complaints, way more than they receive in anything else. Just got a councillor now, Mark Hood. I'm a councillor who support this. Our local venue, the Forum in Tunbridge Wells, is actually the neighbouring council area. If I can help, I will. I'm sure April Clark would support this too. Mark is I happen to know the work of Mark. Mark is a very engaged local councillor. Local councillors will be concerned about the loss of community infrastructure and assets in their community. All you need to do is explain that to them in a letter, and I promise you they will take action. So I hope we've given you enough information there. I'm going to put both links up again because it's very important that you see those. The red map where you can get all our information from is cut.ly/MVT red map. If people could put that in the descriptions below this video. And then the other one is the red list. The red cut.ly/menti red list, that is where you can read all about the crowdfunders from each of our venues. You can see what they're asking for, the kind of messages they're sending, read about who's played there, you know, what they're part of, all these kind of things. We really do need your support. These venues need your support. The way to win this, the way that we can stop these venues closing, is if you come off this video call, we come off this webinar, and you go onto our map site there, the MBT red map, you pick a venue and you start campaigning actively for that venue. That's what works. Everything we've done in the last 8 months has been achieved by working with people exactly like the people watching this video. That's how it got done. It isn't done any other way. I promise you that. So with that rousing bit of speech at the end, and with thanks to Sarah and Clara, who I should in public say have worked unbelievably hard to get you these tools, to get you this stuff online, to get you the ease of stuff that you need to do this. If you want to leave us a comment, we'll try and answer as many comments as we can. Please share this video. Really important. You can share it from YouTube. You can share it from our Facebook. Please share it out so that everybody can see how easy it is to do this and how you can get it done. So thanks very much for joining us. Everybody wave goodbye because we're friendly. We're friendly. Bye.
Bye.